Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome. Hope you all had a beautiful Labor Day weekend. Got a chance to spend some time with family and friends, maybe just to relax and kind of check in with yourself. We have a huge fire here in Big Bear. There's over 300 acres burning, and they're not really able to contain it yet. So lots of healing and prayers that it will be contained quickly and nobody really gets hurt. So, but today I just wanted to say hello and kind of just go into how do your loved ones in spirit communicate with you. So our loved ones on the other side in spirit, they absolutely do communicate with us, right? And it's just in various different ways. It literally could be a thought that you have, right? If you are thinking of your loved one they pop into your head, is because they're already with you, right? They're already there. So if you think of your loved one, that's because they're already there connecting with you. Okay, so it inspires the thought. Okay, they also come in through various signs and symbols, and I know we hear that a lot, right? I think it's one of the most basic things we are taught is that they use signs and symbols, but they absolutely do, because they're doing anything they can to get your attention, to kind of reassure you. And short of being able to sit there and sit in the physical and have a cup of coffee with you, they are trying to kind of say, hey, wait a second, I'm in the birds, I'm in the flowers, I'm in the pennies, I'm in the songs and the music, I am all around you. So they use what's around us as ways to communicate, as a language. And the more we have our awareness expanded, right? The more our awareness is expanded, that we notice the nuances. So many times people are kind of blind a little bit, right? You're rushing around here, there, taking care of this, taking care of that. We don't pay attention enough, right? We tend to not really see all the tiny little nuances. And so by looking at the nuances and picking them up, allowing that there, then that's when you're going to start to notice the tiny little things. Again, it could be anything from butterflies to birds to anything you can imagine. But if you see something and it makes you think of that loved one, it is that loved one around. Or you can set up a sign or a symbol with that loved one. Ask them, please show me this, right? Please bring this to me. And then it's really about being very patient, right? Allowing your patience to be there. So the other thing too is our loved ones will also come to us in dreams, okay? Now this one can always be a little tricky, I find, only because I think some people get a little confused. If you have a dream where it feels very anxiety ridden, or you think that loved one's in pain, or you're trying to save something or someone, and you wake up feeling anxious and fearful and sad and all of that, that's usually just your subconscious trying to work something out, right? If there's a fight or anything like that in that dream, that's usually just your consciousness trying to resolve something that maybe was left unresolved, okay? But if that dream is very peaceful and it's loving, and you wake up and you remember it and it feels so real, that is the visitation of a loved one. So we actually can have both types of dreams, especially if something was left unresolved, okay? Especially if we didn't have a chance to save someone that we thought we could, or have that last conversation, or we didn't pick up on it, or regardless, and just kind of working through our own grief. And grief is a very, very big part of whether or not we can see those signs and symbols from our loved ones. Because when you are deep in grief, I always like to say it's like a wet sponge, right? It's going to be heavy. And as it's heavy, that means our vibration is lower. So when our vibration is lower, we're moving farther and farther away from the vibration of spirit, right? Spirit, think of your most giddy, absolute self when you were rolling on the floor with someone, wanting to pee your pants, right? Just that absolute euphoria, joy. Spirit is higher than that, okay? So what we need is to at least get ourselves to have our vibration be up. And so it's working through that grieving process. And it is difficult. I mean, a lot of times, mentally we could say, hey, mentally I know that they're okay, and I know they're in spirit, and I know they're in a better place, but that doesn't mean your heart is ready. It doesn't mean your heart isn't hanging on to the sadness of not having them in the physical realm. So it is about processing your emotions, but at the end of the day, doing your best to stay as optimistic and positive as you can, because that's what keeps that vibration higher. And then that allows you to connect to that loved one more easily. So when we look at spirit and how they're connecting and communicating, it's, you may hear them. You may kind of go through an experience and you just kind of hear their voice or hear something they would say, right? And that's a way as well. You may feel them around you. So if you get goosebumps and the hair on the back of your neck, or you kind of wake up suddenly at night because you felt someone around, spirit is not trying to scare us in any capacity, but it can feel energetically a little scary. Like your heart will start to race and your heartbeat will get faster, but that's just because you're feeling the vibration of spirit, right? So it's like a charge that happens. So these are ways that our loved ones are very, very much around us. So as you expand that awareness, so you may say, Colby, like, how do I expand my awareness then? Best and foremost is to pay attention. Really pay attention. So for instance, when you go outside, spend time in nature and just say, okay, how many animals can I pick up on? So for instance, play little games with yourself, okay? So if you go outside in nature, say, how many little animals am I going to pick up on? How many squirrels do you spot, right? How many birds, and how many different types of birds? How many insects do you see? What are the colors? How many different colors can you pick up on? So again, allowing yourself to pick up on every little nuance. Take a little blindfold and maybe just blindfold yourself and pick up every possible little sound you can. Whether it's a trash truck, a car, a motorcycle, whether it's birds chirping, whether it's the wind we hear, whether it's traffic on a freeway, whatever it is. How many little sounds can you pick up in your ear? Go to a restaurant, my favorite, eavesdrop. Just go ahead and listen in on someone else. Honestly, it really helps you to expand that awareness, to heighten those senses. The more heightened your senses are, okay, then the more you're going to be able to connect to those signs from your loved one. One of the biggest things I like to say is there are no coincidences, right? No coincidences. So once you dispel the idea of something being a coincidence and understanding that there is something more beyond it, that's when we really can start to play, really, really play. So just kind of start to notice, like, what are your loved ones saying? How are they around you? How are they showing up for you? And to acknowledge it and to embrace that and to love that, right? The only difference between us and our loved ones on the other side is a physical body, right? The physical anchor that keeps us in the physical realm, right? Your loved one is loving and kind. They learn lessons on the other side. If it was a loved one that may have done harmful things in the living, they really learn through that. They have to kind of go back and review their life and practice and learn. Someone doesn't, if they passed away, unfortunately, in a traumatic accident or anything that we would perceive painful, they're not experiencing any of that on the other side. It's just filled with joy and filled with love. So allow that to be kind of that really consoling to you to understand that they really are in a wonderful, beautiful, loving space. And they absolutely do try to connect and talk to us and speak to us in any fathomable way that they can, okay? A lot is happening. Tonight is the advanced development group. We have our circle that starts tonight. This is for our advanced students. If you want to practice doing your readings, get deeper, more evidence. Also, we have the Janet Nohavik event coming this Saturday, you guys. As you know, Janet passed away, but I am still doing this charity fundraiser, so I ask you to please come. You can find the tickets on my website, colbyrebel.com. Please look for them. It really is to support a wonderful cause, one that she was so passionate about. And we were supposed to do this event together, and I'm still doing it on behalf of her and the charity. The other thing is Sunday, we are doing a class with Joe Scheel, and this really is about deepening your evidence, really getting that evidence. It's going to be a really fun workshop, so please sign up for that. And of course, we have our beginner circle, which is next Wednesday. So much happening. You can just go to colbyrebel.com. I'm hitting my live tour, you guys. So excited for this live tour. Be heading to New Jersey, Massachusetts, and also heading to Dallas, Texas. So please come join me, follow me. Let's do it together. As always, everyone, shine your light and shine it bright. And thank you so much for the stars. It really does mean a lot to me. And lots of love to you guys, okay? Have a beautiful day, gorgeous day. Bye, everybody.